Syria?
Yep.
Yeah, the United Nations just called for a humanitarian ceasefire in Aleppo because apparently there was intense fighting.
Yeah.
Now, my question to you, how does that work? Because there seemed to be lack of enthusiasm, let's say, calling for a ceasefire a couple of days ago during the offensive of the opposition group. So could you just, first of all, update us on what's going on, and how do you see the ceasefire?
Okay, well, I'm not going to update you on the ground. We spoke a little bit yesterday about how fluid the situation is, but let me make our position clear on this. We continue to urge all parties for complete compliance with a nationwide cessation of hostilities. We firmly believe that full compliance with the cessation by all parties is the only path to improve the prospect for successful talks.
Well, you know, I mean, these temporary or brief ceasefires and so on, they seem to break down, first of all, very quickly and not have a lasting effect. Should there be some sort of a call or an effort for a countrywide ceasefire that would bring all groups, have you in this case or your allies lean on the opposition groups that keep changing names and keep changing.
I mean, we couldn't agree more on this, and we've been clear on this. We are calling on all parties to do this. What we would say, though, as you well know, the Syrian regime, aided by Russian efforts, is responsible, we believe, for the majority of these violations. We believe these actions are only encouraging more terrorism, the very thing that the regime and Russia are supposedly trying to combat.
But I'm a little bit confused because, the attacks by the opposition groups, or, Fateh al-Sham, which was like a couple of weeks ago, was al-Nusra. And they are aided by weapons that are supplied by the Saudis, supplied by many of your allies and so on. Even some say supplied directly by you. I mean, how do you juxtapose this against your call for a lasting ceasefire?
I would talk about what Ambassador Power said yesterday, and as well as she made some comments to the press today in New York. At the informal UN Security Council meeting yesterday, they had that conversation about the situation now in Aleppo and the impact on civilians. It is really hard to characterize this. This is dire. The reinstitution of a cessation of hostilities, all parties, to your point, respecting that is the only path forward. Sir.